Good morning, everyone. It's nice to have many people. Last time, because of the weather, we only have 5 or 6 people. It seems spring has come, yet it's still cold. On Sunday mornings, I have been talking on this text, Opening the Hand of Thought. This is my teacher's book, and I'm one of the translators. I talk, kind of slowly. In my record, this is 141 lecture. Anyway, today I'd like to start the bottom of page 95, if we have this text. Last time, 2 weeks ago, I talked main part of this paragraph, but I'd like to add one thing, and if possible, I'd like to talk next paragraph. So let me read this paragraph. Of course, if a violet plant cannot produce even a small violet, it is unable to make seeds and continue its line. Nevertheless, when it blooms, it does so for no personal purpose. Just bringing forth flowers is its life. There is a passage in the Lotus Sutra that reads, "All things are the truth in themselves." In Zen, a similar expression is, "A willow is green, a flower is red." In short, Buddhism as a religious teaching means manifesting the world of life in which a violet blooms as a violet, and a rose as a rose. In next paragraph, in the Amitāya Sutra of the Pure Land teachings, paradise is described in this way. Blue things are blue, red things are red. This is the Pure Land paradise. This point demands our close attention. Without thinking carefully about it, we imagine how wonderful it would be if blue things could become red, or that poor people would be happy if only they could become rich. In this part, from page 89, Okumura Roshi talks about the meaning or significance of this Zazen practice in terms of the modern civilization. And first he discussed about the nature of this modern civilization. This is basically the scientific and technological civilization, and economy and politics are very important. And Okumura Roshi said this modern civilization is based on human effort. We human beings have been working, making effort since we appeared on this planet. That is to making progress. That is one very important part of human civilization, and this making progress is very important part of our life. But he said this effort of making progress based on dissatisfaction means I'm not happy now. There's something wrong or something lacking. Therefore, we make, effort or work hard to make the things or situation better. So this effort of making progress based on our dissatisfaction and desire for something we want, and or the dislikeness about what we have or our situation right now. And this desire for something we don't have, and to attain, get those things, or reach there, in Buddhist term called greed. And dislikeness of where we are is called hatred, anger or hatred. So this civilization is based on actually three poisonous mind: greed and anger or hatred. And according to Buddhist teaching, this greed and anger or hatred is based on ignorance. So this basis of this modern civilization is three poisonous mind, according to Buddhist teaching. That is what Okumura Roshi discussed about the nature of this modern civilization. It's based on our dissatisfaction and desire to be satisfied. But Okumura Roshi also said, we human beings are making another kind of effort, that is finding a peace of mind. How can we find a peace of mind? Peace of mind means it's okay here. I don't need to go somewhere else. Everything is fine as it is. So this is the acceptance of our condition and situation. Then we have peace of mind. And Okumura Roshi mentioned Buddhist teaching, or Buddha's teaching, of is basically self-settling within the self. So there's no others, no place to go. The very famous saying in Zen is, every day is a good day. Where we are is already good. So why we have to go somewhere else? But if we take this teaching with carelessness, then we make a mistake. That means we become lazy, and we don't care about the problems we have or difficulty we have now. We ignore the negative side of our life and just be, here now, and it's okay. And Okumura said that is not a correct understanding of Buddha's teaching. That's why he is kind of trying to find the middle way. He said in this section, he said, our modern civilization is crazy. Or in Japanese, kichigai. But if we make misunderstanding about Buddhist teaching of here and now, we become foolish. Or Okumura Roshi's Japanese expression is aho or baka. That means we cannot even think of, how to make things better, and we become lazy and we don't care. But he want to find, Okumura Roshi want to find, I can say, deeper life force or motivation in our life. This side is based on our thinking and desire and hatred. And he said that is caused based on our thinking. Or discrimination came from made in our mind. And this is no discrimination. Everything is okay. But he would like to find a middle way between these two. How can we being free from desire and hatred and ignorance, and yet we can work diligently. Without desire, can we work diligently or not? If we can, then what is this energy? Buddhist teaching is, small and few desires, being free from desires, and satisfying within where we are, and enjoy serenity. But Buddha also taught diligence. What is this energy to be diligent? That is the point which Okumura Roshi want to mention in this section. That means we work hard, diligently, to make progress, and yet we don't being pulled by our desire. Is such a thing possible? And what he's saying here is, this energy deeper than this thinking and discrimination is life force, or in Japanese, seimei. Our thinking is a part of our life, but our life is not part of our thinking. Thinking is part of our body and mind. And this body and mind is connected with all beings. But in the case of thinking, there is separation between self and others, or subject and object. And we make separation and we try to make connection. This is how our mind works. And we make judgment about the things outside of us, and make evaluation and judgment. And if I like this, I want to chase after this. And if I don't like this, I want to escape from this. That is how our mind works. And our effort to progress is based on this structure. But life is much deeper. Life includes this thinking, and yet thinking cannot include life. But we modern people often or always think this is the real thing, and we don't see this much basic fundamental thing. We ignore that. So our way of life is kind of upside down. We think our thought, our thinking mind, own our life. But actually our thinking life is that thinking ability. Our ability to think is a tiny part of our life. So our practice is how can we turn it around and make it normal. Anyway, to point this life force, he introduced, in the previous page, he introduced Jesus Christ's teaching from the Bible, that is about the release of the field. I think I don't need to explain what he said. And here, in this paragraph, he introduced two Buddhist teachings. One is, all things are the truth in themselves. This is Shōhaku. Shōhaku is all things, or beings, and this so is true or genuine form. But I translate this as a true reality true reality of all things. And this expression appears in the Lotus Sutra, second chapter of the Lotus Sutra. And this is what I talked last time. So today I don't talk about this. But as a traditional or original Buddhist term, this Shōhojisto means true reality of all beings. But in Japanese tradition, including Dogen, we read this as all things are true reality. All things means each and every phenomenal things are true reality. True reality is not beyond this phenomenal world or phenomenal things, but each and every phenomenal things is itself true reality. That is why we translate this as all things are the truth in themselves. So we don't search the truth beyond this phenomenal world in which we, experience different things each day. And he introduced another expression. This is from Zen. In Zen, a similar expression is a willow is green, a flower is red. This expression is as famous, well known as every day is a good day in Japanese Zen. That means this willow is green and flower is red is about the scenery of spring day in Japan. I lived in Kyoto for many years, and in Kyoto, especially in the early April, cherry blossoms blooms, and at the same time, willow start to have new green leaves, and there are some places cherry and willow are planted together. So it's really beautiful in the spring. Flowers are not really red, but it's pink. The cherry blossom and fresh green leaves of willow. So this is an expression of beauty of spring day, of flowers and leaves. And what that this means. I mean, in Zen teaching or Zen teachers don't explain, but they always just experience it. They are just as it is. But what this just as it is means, and what that means in the context of Okumura Roshi's discussion, is kind of important thing. This is really common expression in Zen, so we not often we think carefully and deeply what this means. So I'd like to talk about this. This is my understanding, so you don't need to believe what I'm saying. But this expression, willow is green and flower is red, came from Sushi's poem. Sushi, or in Japanese, Shōhaku, or his poet name is Sotoba. And I couldn't find the entire poem, but I found the full phrase or line that is said. This is willow. This is green, and flower, red, and this part is shin, men, mock. Shin is true, and men is face, and mock is eye. But as a men mock as a compound means our face. So what Sushi is saying is, this willow is green, flower is red. This is true face, and true face means true reality, same as true reality of all beings, and it's also true face of each one of us. This is my face, but this face is changing. When I was born, my face was not like this. And when I was in my 20s or 30s, it's different. But now this is my face at this moment. But tomorrow, my face might be different. It's always changing. So we cannot tell what is the true face of this person. But just seeing, this kind of a structure of skin and bone. So what is true self is something we need to find. And that is important point of Zen practice. What is the true self, or true face of yourself? And even added, that saying is added before your parents were born. What is your self? What is true self, a true face before your parents are born? And this is one of the answer. True face is, willow is green and flower is red. And what does this mean? And Dogen is almost saying, Dogen said almost same thing. There is a famous waka poem by Dogen entitled Hondai. I'm sorry. Hondai no menmoku. Same word, menmoku, and this Hondai means original. Original self, original face. He wrote a waka poem with the title of Original Self. And this poem is very famous, so probably you already know. That is spring flowers, summer cuckoos, autumn the moon, winter snow does not melt away. How clean and refreshing all seasons are. And according to Dogen, this is original face. And we need to understand why this can be original face. This is the beauty of each seasons. Beauty of each seasons are changing. Each season, it has different kind of beauty. Same as my face is changing. But Dogen said this true self or original self is this, beauty of each time, each moment, each season. And from here, this is my understanding. This seasons and beauty of the seasons and each and every phenomenal concrete things that is impermanent, and it's not nothing is fixed. So we cannot rely on. And yet this impermanent and always changing without substance is true face. This expression, I think, is a poetic expression of Mahayana teaching of interdependent origination. I always, draw a circle and lines to show a net. This is Indra's net, and each one of us is a knot. Knot is a relation or connection of thread. So we are like a knot in the net. And the important point is there's no such thing, such fixed things called a knot. Besides the relation and connection of thread, there's no such things called a dot. I mean knot, same as a bubble. There's no such thing, such fixed thing called a bubble. Bubble is a relation between air and water. Only thing there is air and water. When air is packed in the water, we call it a bubble. So bubble looks like existing when bubble is moving from bottom to upward until the shore face, and it disappears. And we are the same as bubble. Somehow we are born, stay for a while, changing, and disappear. Everything the same thing. That is the nature of each knot. And this is Indra's net. Indra's net, I think, is an image of interdependent origination in India. This originally came from the Avatamsaka Sutra, or Kegon Kyo. But I think for Chinese people has their own image of interdependent origination, or interconnectedness. This word key. Key, I usually translate this key as function. And Dogen Zenji used this expression, Zenki, or total function. This means this entirety is working together. And in Chinese culture, this key also means machine. Not only Chinese culture, but in Japanese too. This key also means machine. Kikai is machine. And the oldest machine in China is loom. Weaving machine. So this one character, key, also means loom, weaving machine. And the structure of weaving machine has, again, the thread, vertical thread and horizontal thread. I already forget the name of each one, weft and woof. I don't know which is which. Anyway, in Chinese culture, this vertical thread is often thought as a time, and horizontal thread is considered as a space. So this is another idea or image of interconnectedness. Within time and space, depending upon how these threads connect to each other, different patterns is made. Does it make sense? So this is another, I think, Chinese image of interconnectedness. So we are part of this connection of each thread. And the relation, how each and every thread works, it creates the pattern. And for them, for Chinese people, the seasons is like a pattern. Each and everything, like a willow that is green, and flowers that is red, and many other things like a purple violet flower or yellow dandelion. All of them are part of this working. as a interconnectedness of vertical and horizontal thread. For example, there is a famous and important collection of koan in Soto Zen tradition called Shōhaku, or Book of Serenity in English translation. The very first case of this koan collection is as follows. One day, the world-honored one ascended the seat. Manjushri struck the gavel is like a mallet, and said, clearly observe the Dharma of the King of Dharma. The Dharma of the King of Dharma is thus. The world-honored one then got down the seat. So the Buddha ascended his seat, and this means he was going to say something, to expound Dharma. But before Buddha said anything, Manjushri said, the Dharma of the King of Dharma refer to Buddha. So Buddha's Dharma is thus. Before Buddha said anything. That means, this Buddha's Dharma is within silence. It cannot be said anything. That is, the nature of the absolute truth or reality that is beyond our thinking mind, our discrimination. So, in order to experience this absolute reality or truth, we have to shut our mouth and just sit. This absolute truth, beyond thinking, beyond discrimination, can be manifested within silence. That is the first case, teaching in the first case in Shōhaku. So this is about the relation between absolute truth and conventional truth. Conventional truth is how we observe this truth and understand and explain using words and logics. When we use word and logic, we have to think and we have to make discrimination. Otherwise, we cannot say anything. So, in Buddhism, it's always said that absolute truth cannot be said anything or expressed using words. So we have to keep our mouth closed. And yet, to share this absolute truth, we have to speak. This is, according to Nagarjuna, this is called conventional truth. And in order to approach to the absolute truth, we need to use a conventional truth, that is speaking and thinking. So these are two sides. And so that point of this case number one in Shōhaku is absolute truth is expressed within silence. And the Chinese Soto Zen master, whose name was Honji, or in Japanese Wanshi, expressed this reality using his own poem or verse. And his verse about this koan is as follows. The unique breeze of reality. The unique breeze is wind. The unique breeze of reality do you see? So this cannot be explained using words, so you have to see it. And he continues. Continuously, creation runs her loom and shuttle, weaving the ancient brocade, incorporating the forms of spring. But nothing can be done about Manjushri's leaking. Manjushri's leaking. This means, this continuously creation runs her loom and shuttle. Loom and shuttle is the tools to, make this loom function. And this word creation in Chinese original is ke-mo. Ke means transformation or moving or changing. And mo is mother. So it says in Chinese imagination, this loom is operated by this mother of creation. This mother of creation is operating this loom and keep using this shuttle to make this work and change. So the scenery of spring, summer, fall, and winter is a function, is created by the function of this mother of creation using her shuttle. So weaving the ancient brocade in this case means eternal, timeless. Incorporating the forms of spring. Forms of spring is each and every concrete things like willow and cherry blossom or violet or rose or all other small things. That is a pattern made with this function of mother of creation. Then finally he says, but nothing can be done about Manjushri's leaking. Leaking means, Manjushri leaked the secret of this truth that is beyond words or thinking or a concept. But by Manjushri, by saying the Dharma of King of Dharma's Dharma is thus. By saying this, he leaked that secret. So he was against the rule. That means Manjushri's saying, Buddha's truth is like this is already something extra. And Manjushri, in a sense, Manjushri, what is the word? Destroy the absolute truth by putting his words. Said this is complete absolute truth. So we should take the Manjushri's leaking out. Then only all those spring things. Willow is green, and flower is red, and violet is purple, and dandelion is yellow. All those, each and every concrete thing is there. That is what we can see. And beside all those concrete things that is always changing, nothing stays forever. Beside this always changing phenomenal things, there's no such true face or original face. That is what this expression, willow is green and flower is red. That means as I said, beside each and every unique and concrete things conditioned within time and space, like the spring flowers can bloom only within spring. That means only within certain conditions. And when summer comes, the scenery changed, and other things happens. This is called impermanence in Buddhism. And besides this, each and everything that are impermanent, there is no such true self or original self or some kind of eternal truth or absolute reality. So each and every concrete things, including ourselves, there's no such truth or reality. That is the meaning of this teaching. That means, we are like a bubble, impermanent and phenomenal and conditioned, stay only for a while. But when we touch this one knot, one bubble, then because everything is connected, we touch this entire network. So each and every impermanent things, there's no such entirety of connection, interconnectedness. So in that sense, there's, from this analogy, what we can say is each and everything does not really exist. That is what emptiness means. Each one of us is empty. There's no fixed substantial thing, including ourselves. That is one thing. That is what emptiness means. Emptiness, impermanence, no self means. But from another side, we can say, how things are moving within time and space is how this entirety of interconnectedness is working. So each and every flowers and beings, animals, and bubbles and clouds, everything happening is this entirety. So each individual things and this entirety is always connected. That is what Dogen's expression Zenki or total function means. That means the green leaves of willow express the entire spring, entirety of spring, and flower, the red color of the flower, or each and everything expressing this entire total function. That is why Dogen says, each and everything happening in spring, summer, fall, and winter is true self or true face. And my next book, entitled The Zen Teaching of Homeless Kodo, will be published in coming fall. This is a new translation of Sawaki Kodo Roshi's short sayings with Uchiyama Roshi's comments. Uchiyama Roshi made selection of Sawaki Roshi's short sayings, and he made comments. Originally, this book was a collection of Uchiyama Roshi's articles on the newspaper. And this time I made the new translation of the text, and I added my explanation. And one section of this book, the Zen Teaching of Homeless Kodo, is called the self that is connected with universe. The self that is connected with universe. And in his comments on Sawaki Roshi's saying, Sawaki Roshi's saying is, the true self. The true self in this case is the same as original face or true face. The true self is not that I. In this I is italic, or we can put quotation. This I. So Shōhaku Roshi is saying the true self is not I. That is the product of my individual thought. And he said, that's it. That it means no discussion. This is Shōhaku Roshi's kind of a quality of Shōhaku Roshi saying, no discussion. So his teaching was like splitting a wood with a big ox. That's it. No discussion. We just have to accept it and digest it. But Okumura Roshi's way is kind of different. He's very intellectual person. He studied Western philosophy when he was a university student. Anyway, in order to comment on this saying by Shōhaku Roshi, what is the true self? Okumura Roshi introduced one of Ryokan's poem. And if you read this poem by Ryokan, you can see this came from Dogen. His poem is about the keepsake. Do you know keepsake?
Yes, keepsake.
When someone is dying, someone leaves something as a memory of that person, memorial of that person. So I think this poem was made when Ryokan was already very aged and probably he was dying. Someone asked him to give keepsake as of Ryokan's. Then Ryokan's poem about his keepsake is, as my keepsake, what can I leave? In spring, flowers, in summer, cuckoos, and in fall, maple leaves. Only maple leaves are different from Dogen's poem. Dogen said in fall, moon. But here, Ryokan said maple leaves. That's the only difference. That means, he has nothing to really give because he has no possession. He was a very poor person. But his keepsake is this entirety of network. This is him. So that means when the person who asked Ryokan to give a keepsake, whenever he sees the flower in the spring and cuckoos hear the sound of cuckoo in summer and see the maple, red beautiful maple leaves in the fall, the person is seeing Ryokan. This is how Zen people express this reality of interconnectedness. We are empty, impermanence, and non-substantial. But because of that, we are universal. We are connected with all beings. And this interconnectedness is actually the self. So we don't need to leave anything. Anyway, after Okumura Roshi introduced this poem by Ryokan, he says, precisely because the self that is not the product of our thought is beyond thinking, we cannot define what it is. However, I think we can understand that our true self is not limited by the scope of our thoughts. The true self lies beyond such boundaries. It's the self that is connected with the universe. And he continued, it's the four seasons come around. Four seasons come around. This is the self. And in spring flowers, in summer cuckoos, and in fall maple leaves. This self is not the I that is jealous of others' happiness and glad at their sadness, thinking, thankfully that didn't happen to me. When we hear or see someone's sadness or pain, part of us said, I'm happy it didn't happen to me. And rather, our true self rejoices over others' happiness from the bottom of our hearts and truly shares their sorrows. So that's the difference between whether we are aware that we are connected with all beings, or I'm separate from all beings, and other people's pain is not my pain, and other people's happiness is not my happiness. So we are jealous, or we can have joy about other people's pain. That attitude came from separation. But when we really see we are all connected, we can have joy with when other people are happy, and we can share the sadness or pain when other people have sadness. That difference is very kind of a subtle difference. But this subtle difference is, I think, make the big difference in our life. Anyway, that is what, it's already 11:05. That is what Okumura Roshi is saying when he introduced these two teachings. The first one is everything, all phenomenal things are the truth in themselves, or Shōhaku Jiso, and willow is green, a flower is red. And he, at the end of this paragraph, he said, in short, Buddhism as a religious teaching means manifesting the world of life instead of world of thinking, world produced within our thinking, in which a violet blooms as a violet, and a rose as a rose, each are different, but they are all beautiful, and express the entirety of the spring, or summer, or fall, or winter. Well, that is what I have to say this morning. I couldn't finish next paragraph, even start, but it's okay. This is usual. Any question or comments, please?
Seems like from the poem, the willow leaf is green, the flower is red. They're saying 100% each was 100% flower and willow leaf, and it seems like that like an archetype of creation is fixed, and it seems like they were saying that if you go into those or realize those, you reach a non-dualist point, or a union point, union or unity.
Yeah, all flowers came from the ground.
Yes, but now Manjushri is speaking this truth, I guess this truth, does it mean that it came into the mental realm and therefore created a separation in us?
Yeah.
And that when we aren't, when it isn't being leaky,
Yes.
then we're back in a unitive state and not
Yeah.
in a separative,
Mm.
making by thinking, cutting ourselves from
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Is that what that means?
Yeah. What Manjushri did is what Okumura Roshi did when he wrote this book.
Yes.
And what I'm doing now,
Yes.
talking about reality beyond thinking, using thinking. So you need to forget this and just do it.
More like Beethoven's music,
Yeah.
to actually have the music,
Yeah.
in a way it separates you from the
Yeah.
reality.
Explanation about Beethoven's music is not music.
Or the music itself.
Yeah. But within this reality, that our thinking and explanation using words and letters or those poems are included. Please.
Well, so if you say that, like, if you try to look at something as an expression of the entire universe, you're already separating it from the entire universe.
Yeah. When I say entire universe, we are not there. I'm not there. I'm thinking about that thing as an object.
Yeah.
So we have to forget it or letting go and just sit. Okay? Okay, thank you.